So great leaders ask great questions to lead people to their own answers. The other thing that I want you to note is during this time that I have with you, I may say things that make you pissed off, angry, insecure, whatever it may be. If you feel an emotion come up, note it. Because there's work that needs to be done. True or false? True or false?
True.
So note it if I say something that makes you a little bit weary, triggers you, whatever it may be. Right? The other thing that I want you to note is that change is hard. And the reason why change is hard is because a part of you needs to die. A part of you needs to let go of something that doesn't serve you. And that's hard. Some of you are like, I don't want to change. That's okay. But what I want you to note as well is I call this the portal of transformation. So humans, when it comes to the brain, humans will change for two reasons. How many reasons? Two reasons. And the reasons are pain and pleasure. But humans will always run away from pain faster than they'll run towards pleasure. That's why you don't go to the gym until the doctor says you got diabetes. You don't start building a business until you're dead broke. You don't leave that relationship until you hit your threshold. Has anyone ever been there? Show of hands. You hit your pain threshold. But the truth is, I may say something here today, and you may get this idea of like, oh, maybe I should apologize to my dad. Maybe I should apologize to my mom. Maybe I should let go of that negative thing, whatever it may be. And a portal is going to open. But most people won't jump through the portal because it's scary. It's uncertain and it's dark. But if a portal opens, I suggest you jump in because I don't have a leg to take you through. Superhuman level. Who's up for superhuman? Let me give you a hand. You want to be here today. If you want to take it to a superhuman level, you keep your body in a peak state, you say yes, you call out. That's not being rah-rah. That's to drive it home so you retain the information. Make sense? So when I say yes, I want to see this proud Lord. Say yes! Say yes! Say yes! See? You're going to feel different. Because you use your voice. Right? And I'm going to show you how you can control your emotional state because your success is directly correlated to how much chaos you can withstand. You know it. Your success, my success, is directly correlated to how much chaos I can withstand. True or false? True. Right? So that's going to be key as we keep in our state high. I'm going to teach you all this different type of stuff. Now, real quick, I'm not going to get too much of my story, but there are two big reasons why I'm here today on this path of mastering the psychology, training entrepreneurs. About 5 years ago, I knew a kid who was living in New Jersey, and he wanted to move to Florida to become a bodybuilder. And he went to Florida, and he went to a mastermind like this. It wasn't as cool and big as this. There was about 8 people, and he goes to this mastermind, and everybody's sitting around and they're sharing their story. And they get up to this young man and go, "What's your story?" He goes, "I got a long story. You got a long time?" He starts sharing his story. And after he's done sharing his story, someone looked at him and said, "You're going to be on stage with Tony Robbins." And the kid goes, "Who's Tony Robbins?" He was 20, 21 years old. And that kid looked at him and said, "I'm going to work for you for free. I love your message, and if you like the work we do, maybe one day we'll start a company together." 5 years later, 2 7-figure companies on a world tour with Tony Robbins. That killed me. That guy is there, where are you at? He's in the back. Look, give him a round, hit him around the bar. Now, the reason why I share that is because sometimes it takes getting in the right room. True or false? Getting in the right room. But also sometimes it takes getting in the right room and a person, a mentor, a friend sees the gift in you that you may not see in yourself. It's like a trophy on the wall. And it's not shining. And you don't look at the trophy and you walk by it 50 times, 60 times, 70 times, and then your mom comes over, she shines the trophy, and you go, "Look at the trophy. She said it's been there the whole time." You just didn't exercise the muscle. You just didn't shine your trophy. So when you come into rooms like this, who agrees that someone sees a gift in you that you may not see in yourself, that gives you some belief? That's why we come here, right?
Right.
Now the other reason why I'm here is about 2 years ago. It was my dad's birthday. It's coming up, April 23rd. And my dad's the type of dad where he'll call me to let him know it's his birthday. I'm like, "Dude, I know, I just didn't wake up yet." Right? He calls me, he's like, "It's my birthday." I'm like, "I know." I didn't wake up yet, right? And so I'm like, I love you, you're getting old. He's like, thanks. How's everyone doing? You're doing great. I was like, let me know if you need anything, Pops, and I hang the phone. About 2 hours later, I get a FaceTime from my dad, and I pick the phone. He's hysterical, crying. I said, Dad, what's wrong? What's going on? He said, buddy, I'm at the crime scene. Your brother OD'd, dead. I don't have the strength to tell your sisters, can you do it for me? Like every leader, I hung the phone up. And I called my older sister to let them know their brother wasn't there anymore. Now the reason why I share that is because I have programmed my brain to ask specific questions. And I want you to know this, the quality of my life comes down to the quality of the questions I ask myself on a day-to-day basis. The reason being is because my brain is a problem-solving mechanism. And it's always going to give me an answer to the questions that I ask it. The truth is, most of you going around asking shitty questions. Ask a shitty question, what kind of answer do you get? Ask a great question, what kind of answer do you get? Most of us go around asking, why me? Why can't I close? Why can't I scale? Why don't I have the right people? Why am I not a good mother? You're going to get all the answers, whether they're true or false, right? Your brain's going to give you an answer. So in that moment, I asked a few questions. By the way, these are my golden questions. If you write these, your life will be changed just like this. A few questions that I asked myself in any moment, even a moment of my brother OD. First question, what can I learn? What can I learn from this? What are the gifts? What are the learnings? Because the truth is that when you find the learnings and you find the gifts, the negative emotion tends to fade. You tend to liberate yourself. Now, I've worked with millions and millions of entrepreneurs all over the world, and I identify patterns. We all have the same brain. Some brains are bigger than others, right? But we all have the same brain. And I know that people get caught up on deaths in the family, not closing the right deals, business not going the way they wanted to go. So the first question is, what did I learn? What did I gain? Second question I ask is, who am I going to become because of this? Because by the way, your journey as an entrepreneur is not no destination, it's who you're going to become in the pursuit of it. True or false? True. Right? So who am I going to become? And when I asked myself those questions in that moment, this is the answers that I got. The first answer that I got was my brother's suffering was over. The battle was over. The second learning and the second gift that I got was, wow, there's a lot of times where a man with no legs or arm doesn't feel like a man. At least my dad thought I was man enough to do that for me. That made me feel good. That's a gift. Who agrees? Yeah, you can snap. I'll pretend.
That was a whole bar.
And the third thing that I got out of it was I will do everything in my power to learn all the tools, the psychology, whatever it may be, so no one has to suffer like my brother does. Because who agrees we're all suffering one way or another?
Absolutely.
Right? So what I'm going to teach you today, welcome to Earth School. Which, by the way, you've been in an amazing, amazing room, all about strategies, but guess what? You can't follow through the strategies if you don't have the right psychology, mindset. That I want you to know this. In life and in business, 80% is psychology, 20% is mechanics. Note it. 80% is psychology, 20% is mechanics, and I'll prove it to you. How many of you technically know how to lose weight? Raise your hand. You move your body, you put less food in this hole. Right? Now how many of you got your dream bodies? You know how to do it! What gets in the way?
Mindset.
Yep. No, mindset. I'm okay, right? But the mindset, right? So now let's address the elephant in the room here. Why is this guy so good looking and why does he have no legs or an arm? I was born like this, right? And so, I'm 25 years old, and this is just like 1 minute of my story. In 1996, my mom went in for a late ultrasound. They sat them down, they pulled the baby up on the screen, and suddenly the doctor started freaking out. They said, what's wrong? They said, well, from the looks of it, it doesn't look like your baby's limbs are being developed. Looks like he's missing his legs. Looks like he's missing his arms. Looks like his face is messed up. Clearly. I got my face all wrong. Come heart syndrome either leaves the babies with undeveloped limbs or undeveloped organs. And at the time of my birth, I was the 12th baby in medical history that they've ever seen this happen to. And out of the 12, 8 of them have passed away due to undeveloped organs. So how many of you are parents? Notice that they go, woo! I'm telling all your kids, right? Right? But they looked at my parents and said, your baby boy has about a 30% chance to live. Now the reason why I share that is because my parents made a massive decision. And the decision was that they were going to focus on the 30% chance of me living versus the 70% chance of me dying. The reason being noted, what I focus on, I get more of. What I focus on expands. But most importantly, what I focus on, I feel. And what I feel is my life. You hear me? So what I focus on, I feel. And what I feel is my life. So if what I feel is my life, that means the quality of my life comes down to the quality of the emotions I feel on a day-to-day basis. True or false?
True.
How many of you got some sort of money and realized, oh, that's it? And if you're like, what is he talking about? You haven't made enough money yet. That's okay, you're in the right room. Who agrees? But a lot of us think it's the external world that's going to fix the internal world. Y'all been filling voids with APs, Gucci bags, Lambos, and you still got a void. You're still empty. Why is that? Because you didn't fix the internal world. I'm going to help you today. Is that all right?
Yes.
That's okay. Say yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So, the first thing that I'm going to go through is called a focus evaluation, because what I just told you is what I focus on, I feel, and what I feel is my life, which, by the way, what I focus on, I get more of. Y'all focus on the stuff that you don't want, so you get more of it.
Talk your
Did
shit.
you hear me? Y'all focus on what you don't want, so you get more of it. I don't want a cheater. Get another cheater in my life. I don't want to be broke. Still broke. So where's your focus? So right now we're going to do a focus evaluation, which, by the way, when we're going through this process, another few things that I want to know is be honest.
Own it.
Because the truth will set you
free.
The truth will set you free. Be honest with yourself. And the other thing that I want you to know I'm just getting started like a little firecracker here, right? The other thing that I want you to know is this term called emotional integrity. Note it. Emotional integrity. So what that means is if I feel an emotion coming on, if I want to cry, do it. If I want to be angry, do it. If I want to be sad, do it. But how many times have you felt an amazing emotion, or maybe the emotion of sadness coming on and you wanted to cry and you didn't do it? And want to know why you didn't do it? Because when you were younger, someone told you, big boys don't cry. Big girls don't cry. You just got to deal with your stuff. And you've been conditioned that I can't be sad. I can't cry because it's weak. It's BS. It's bullshit. A true leader, a true entrepreneur, a true alpha male and alpha woman, whatever it may be, says, hey, I'm sad. Let me work through this. Hey, I want to cry. Let me cry. Hey, I'm feeling insecure. Can you give me some reassurance? True or false?
True.
So it's emotional integrity, because the truth is, every time that you feel like you're going to cry and you hold it in, you're lying to yourself. True?
True.
So cry if you want to cry. I'm going to take you through some processes. A lot of you are going to cry. But you're going to feel emotions that you haven't felt in a very long time. Because you've been conditioned for a very long time. Which, by the way, just going through a conditioning, raise your hand if you've ever heard this as a young kid. Ready for this? Watch this. Money doesn't grow on trees. Rich people are greedy. Rich people are evil. We can't afford that. And then one day you believe money was hard to get. And then you believe one day money doesn't grow on trees. Guess what? There's a building and they print that shit. True or false? True. Sorry, Neil. I'm just fired up here. Right? But we've been conditioned. Most of your beliefs have been cultivated between 0 and 7 years old. But by the way, I want to note that your parents didn't pop you out and say, "Oh, can't wait to cast all my limiting beliefs on this." They didn't do that. Some of you may be holding some emotions towards your childhood. But the truth is, your parents did the best they could with what they knew in their conditioning. Note it. My parents did the best they could with what they knew in their conditioning. The most dangerous information is the information you don't know. They did the best they could. True or false?
True.
All right, so let's get into this, right? So focus. I'm going to take you through a focus evaluation. We're going to do some voting with our hands, whatever it may be. But all I'm doing here is a technique called pattern recognition. Write it down. The majority of things that are holding you back, you don't see. It's unconscious. That's why getting in the right room, a mentor or a coach can see something that you may not see because you're too close to the forest. But then you get little baby Yoda who can float over the forest and say, go left, not right. There's a lion over there, don't go over there. That's why we have mentors. So the first question that I want to ask you, in my life, you don't have to answer right away, but in my life, note it, in my life, the majority of the time, do I focus on the things that I have or the things that I don't have? Take a second. In my life, the majority of the time, do I focus on the things that I have or the things that I don't have? Now, one of the biggest patterns that I see in most entrepreneurs is you always focus on what you lack. And you tell me, when I focus on what I don't have, I feel shitty, and when I feel shitty, I don't take action. See where I'm going with this? This is Earth School. This is how to be. This is how to live. This is to make sure that the tactical strategies actually follow through. So let's do a little vote here. How many of you find yourself, be honest, a lot of the times focusing on things that you don't have? Look around the room. Thank you for your honesty. How many of you find yourself focusing on the things that you do have? How many of you are like, I ain't going to raise my hand regardless of what this guy says up here? I see you back there. I like it. Thanks for your honesty. He's like, shit, I didn't think he was going to see me. Okay. Now, the reason why I share that is because when you focus on what you don't have, you don't feel so good. And when you don't feel so good, you take okay action. When you take okay action, you get okay results, and you have an okay life. True or false?
True.
So who sees this small shift that I can start focusing on consciously on the things that I have, so I feel better, so I can take better action? Show of hands. That's a small shift, which, by the way, a lot of you think that you need to make one massive, big change to change your life, when in reality, it's the accumulation of all these small shifts. You don't need to make a big change right now. You just make small shifts. And over my sessions here, you're going to get a lot of small shifts that you're going to be able to implement. Is that one of them? Show of hands. The first focus one. How many of you find yourself focusing on the things that you have and the things that you don't have? How many of you in the middle? Yeah, it's all right. You're human. And take a man with no legs, one arm. If I woke up every single day and focused on all the things that I don't have, what's my quality of life going to look like? Good or bad? Bad. But instead, I train my brain with enough repetition to focus on what I do have. My unique gifts, my communication, my amazing body, whatever it may be. And because I feel good, I take good action, I get good results. Oh, by the way, I don't get good results, I get outstanding results. Who's up with being outstanding? Say that!
Yes! Yes! Yes!
By the way, good isn't good enough anymore. You gotta be outstanding.